Hey there, friend! Welcome back to the Closing Chapters podcast, where every mission has a story. Why are you moving from Charleston? Most people would do the opposite direction. They love being at the beach, they love the Charleston area, and he said, love got me. Once upon a time, I sold a house in the neighborhood Foxcroft. Actually, scratch that. I've sold and helped purchase plenty of houses in Foxcroft, but this one is a little extra special. Let's dive in. So, we're going to rein it back to March of 2019. I had a great opportunity to help this buyer through a referral, and he was coming to Sumter, South Carolina from Charleston. And when I said, my friend, why are you moving from Charleston? Most people would do the opposite direction. They love being at the beach, they love the Charleston area, and he said, love got me. He had started dating this wonderful lady in Sumter, and it was time to move life to where home was going to be. And they were such a cool couple that they knew exactly where they wanted to be location-wise. We did look at a couple of different houses kind of all over town. And then finally she said, I have a really good friend in this particular neighborhood, and we know a lot of people there. And it was it. That was game on. That was where we were going to be. And thankfully for us, a beautiful home came on the market. It was really cool. It had custom floors, like custom concrete floors inside of it. And it was just enough space for their family. So we were able to snag up this corner lot house that was all brick, fenced in backyard, had the playground back there for the kids, and lots of space to renovate, change up, paint alike, and make their own. One of the cool bonuses is that her dad was willing to paint the house for them, which was a beautiful gift. Now, let's back up a little bit and talk about why this is so special. This story is so special because it's one of these situations where also often things like this happen and you never think it would happen to you. These clients and I are the same age, and my client, the man in this relationship, was a widow. He had lost his spouse, and that is really sad. She was sick and had passed away, and he was with her every step of the way. And they had a child together, and they had also adopted an older child. So he was left with two boys and no mom, and doing the best that he could with everything he had going on. And this gentleman was bar none amazing. He had it all handled. However, finding this new love was the missing piece to his puzzle. And it was such a joy to watch them come together and create a family. And he explained that his son is just enamored with this woman and how wonderful it made him feel that they were getting to connect, and that his son accepted her so easily, and it just made it all worth the while. So that is the true reason why he was willing to move from Charleston to Sumter, was a love that surpassed so many hardships and brought him back to life, brought a mother figure back into his son's world, and made everything okay. As a mom of two young kiddos myself, I cannot imagine being in this position and having these type of decisions to be made. Honestly, it's a reality that my family faces quite often, being as we are a military family. And every time my husband goes somewhere, there is that chance, there is that risk. And I'm so grateful and blessed that he has returned home to us each and every time that he has had to leave. So this is just a quick reminder that if you are a young family and tragedy does strike, please know that there is hope, there's a way forward, and it can absolutely be beautiful. I know, working with these clients, that his wife is watching over them every single day and is so blessed and proud that he found someone that is going to honor him and their children and make sure that they are all okay. So I could not be more pleased and blessed that I had the opportunity to work with this family and find them the most perfect house and the most perfect neighborhood for them. Now, let's talk logistics just a little bit, okay? They bought this house in 2019 for $215,000. We were actually under contract for a little bit more than that, and the appraisal came in low. Now, I told you this house had some custom features, which some people would say appreciates the value of the home. And apparently this appraiser said, no, not so much. So for instance, one of the things that I mentioned was those custom concrete floors. Well, in 2018, 2019, this was a very, very new concept, and there's a lot of mishap or misunderstanding of, does it truly count as finished flooring? There's a lot of loans that say that you have to have completed finished flooring throughout the home. So in that I could understand why the appraiser would maybe not see that as valuable. It was really cool, custom colored, stamped. So it was neat, and my clients loved it. Now, does it necessarily bring value? I don't know. What do you think? I'm curious. Do you think that some custom feature like custom concrete floors without a covering on top of them is something that brings value to a property? And this is not like a barn dominium style, right? This is like a true ranch home, brick house, in a standard neighborhood. So there's some food for thought there. So this appraisal came in low, and we had to decide what happens next. And we went back to the sellers and said, hey, sellers, like, take it or leave it. We really want this house, and we know you're ready to sell, and this is where we're at. This is what the appraisal says. And the listing agent submitted everything. The listing agent submitted everything over to the appraisal company to try to combat that appraisal a little bit, and they would not budge. So all in all, we actually got a discount, so to speak, or a deal in my buyer's eyes on this property because it did not appraise, and they were willing to value it higher and go under contract at a higher price. And we had an appraisal contingency in place. Therefore, they did not have to continue forward unless the home appraised for the full value that we needed it to be at. So this is just another one of those moments where real estate can really be, I don't want to say tricky, but surprising, right? Something that you can anticipate and say, this should be fine all day long. This is a beautiful house. It's got the square footage. It's a corner lot. It's a bigger lot. It's fully brick. Everything is upgraded in it. Just a couple different things that are kind of custom, and how that can make such a big difference. It's a side load garage, wasn't a front load garage. A lot of people would value that higher, and this appraiser did not. So this is just a really cool reminder that sometimes we don't always have control over what's going on, and we are all doing the best that we absolutely can. Could I prove the price that we were under contract at? Yes. Could the listing agent prove the price we were under contract at? Yes. Did the appraiser prove that price? No. Who does the lender need to prove that price in order to get the loan? The appraiser. So sometimes, no matter what we say or do, we are not the end-all be-all. So this is just something to keep in mind. All too often, I think that clients are not fully educated and don't understand that we can show you the information. We can tell you, like, without a doubt, what we believe should be a safe range for things. But at the end of the day, there is a third party that is going to come in, and they are going to be the determining factor. And we have no say-so in that. We don't get to choose who that company is. We don't get to choose who the person is. And we can provide information all day long, and they can choose whether they're going to use it or not. So there's a lot of choices to be made, for better or for worse, when it comes to this appraisal process. And I want to let you know that if you're in this scenario, you do have options, right? Like, you can go back on the market, or you can try to negotiate with your current transaction that you have together. But a lot of times, depending on what type of loan it is and who the appraisal is for, like what if it was for like a government backed loan, there tends to be a breadcrumb trail with that property. So if it comes in low, sometimes it's really hard to say, yeah, I can get it back on the market and we can get this back under contract and it's going to be great and better than ever next time. No problems, no questions asked. There's a lot of strings attached to these appraisals, and sometimes that can be quite the feat to get over. So, please keep that in mind that if you especially are selling a property and appraisal comes back low, it is not because your agent did something wrong. A lot of times we literally have no say so. We could give them a book of information and they can choose whether they are going to utilize that or not. But in this case, I'm really pleased that it helped my clients. We were able to get a better price on the property and they now have a good bit of equity sitting in that home. So, all in all, a beautiful love story, a beautiful equity story, and they are home together as a family. That, my friends, I call a win. Hey, I just wanted to say thank you for being here and listening in on this episode of Closing Chapters with me. I truly enjoy putting this content together, and I hope that you enjoy it too. If so, could you like, subscribe, and share this episode with somebody you know that will enjoy it just as much as you did? Thank you so much.